anybody? Oh, yes. Now we are live. Okay. Once again, welcome everyone to our weekly discussion of the Atheist Hangout. My name is Dr. Soita, and I will be presiding over the topic of the day, which is secret societies, specifically the Freemasons and the Illuminati. We will look at this from three angles or under the following subtopics: the objectives or mission of those societies. And as we discuss the objectives, of course, we will mention the definition, how we understand it, and we'll also look at the values of those societies, those two societies. Secondly, we will examine how to join either of the groups, if it is at all possible. And then the third thing we will study or we will discuss is conspiracy theories around these two groups and legitimate criticism of the two groups. So we will try for that last part to separate what is unfounded, what lacks evidence, because that is conspiracy, vis-a-vis what actually they do and why we criticize that aspect as well. And if you feel like they have a strong case for existence, maybe some of us will join the Illuminati or the Freemasons by the end of this meeting. Hey, we will have done some pre-PR for them. So welcome all to the discussion. We will dive straight into it and start with that first subtopic, which is the objectives and values, or even common historical figures, as well as history of the Freemasons and the Illuminati. So what do we understand by those two? How would you define the Freemasons? How would you define the Illuminati? And what are their objectives and their values? Let's see, by a show of hands. Good, I see Morioki's hand is up. Go ahead, Morioki.
Okay, thanks, Dorcas. In fact, I'm a bit worried, to be honest, because there's so much hearsay. There's a building near Valley Road, that building near the white one near Valley Road, they claim to be for Freemasons. I've heard so many stories about it. Devil worshippers, what. Even when I was in school, I used to hear so many stories about that place. Guys go there, they get rich, money. So there's so much hearsay, so I don't know what to say even. But and people say it's a devil worshipping. So I don't know. I don't know. Thanks.
Yeah. It seems to be a fertile ground. These secret societies are a fertile ground for conspiracy theories. But as we said, we'll get to conspiracy theories at the end. Let's first start with the official definition of Freemasons and Illuminati. If you perused through their website, or you listened to maybe a neutral publication, you read from a neutral publication or media, a mainstream media organization, maybe you could have stumbled on their objectives, the reason why they exist, what they do. Yeah.
Dorcas, can I add, I hear that don't make our lives better, don't improve humanity, and to make people wealthy. Yeah, don't make a human life better. Thanks.
Which one, Freemasons or Illuminati?
Both of them. The aim is to improve the quality of humanity by wealth, such things. In fact, I saw some give you cash. If you join, they give you cash immediately. I think that's Freemasons. I don't know who it is. but they give you cash when you join them. Thanks.
Can we confirm this? Has anybody heard about people getting cash upon joining? And do we agree on that bit of making humanity better? You know, it sounds like a humanist ideal.
Because it was Illuminati, by the way. It was Illuminati to give cash.
Oh,
Illuminati.
okay. Yeah. Aha. That is according to Mori. Okay. Let's see by a show of hands for others on their objectives and their missions, preferably from a neutral source, not maybe right-leaning or conspiracy theorist website, at least a neutral place. How would we define these two bodies, Illuminati and Freemason? Please don't be shy. Please don't be shy. Even as we are considering that, feel free to visit Google and check. If you had not done your research, just do that right away and tell us what you find, because this isn't a monologue. Yes, Chilwell, go ahead.
I think the Illuminati was originally founded in the late 1700s to promote ideas. Like, that was the period of Enlightenment. So they originally wanted to promote Enlightenment ideas, which were being suppressed by the church and the monarchies. So I think at the time, a lot of scientists and philosophers were part of the Illuminati. But I believe within that period of the 1700s, it got disbanded, but people continued to believe that it existed, and that's when the conspiracy theories started. But I think that was the initial goal. The Freemasons, I'm not really sure what their goal was, but I think their motto is something like a brotherhood of men under the fatherhood of God. So traditionally, a lot of Freemason lodges don't allow women, and you have to believe in a higher being. So some do, like the French, that there was a French like Freemason lodge which I had seen, which allows even atheists and women, but majority don't. So I think that was just their objective, and they claim to want to do good in the world, now the Freemasons. But I'm not sure when the Freemasons were formed, but I can look that up.
Thank you, Chilwell, for that contribution. And it is spot on. The Illuminati was formed during the Age of Enlightenment, and they wanted to promote the ideals of reason and knowledge. That was indeed the historical background. It began in 1776 in Bavaria, Germany, and was a secret society. It contested against what you said, the control of government as well as tradition, just typical tradition. So we can say the values of the Illuminati during its foundation is reason, secularism, enlightenment, and knowledge. That is, those are the values. And additionally, the Illuminati has a rigorous initiation ceremonies, or it had during its foundation, rigorous initiation ceremonies, which have continued to influence many fraternities in tertiary institutions and other societies. And we know the Illuminati. Okay. What do you, if I can ask you guys, what do you use to recognize the Illuminati? Like, if somebody accuses another of being in the Illuminati, or they claim that this is the Illuminati, what are the symbols that are associated with the Illuminati? Of course, we'll still get into the conspiracy theories later, but for now we are just at the general overview stage. What are the symbols? And do we think that today there is an actual Illuminati society? Or is this the stuff of conspiracies and hoaxes, media hoaxes or speculation? Today, do we think the Illuminati still exists? And then what you said, Chilwell, on the Freemasons is also spot on. You mentioned the idea of a fraternity. It's a fellowship. Actually, it was formed to promote a fellowship of brotherhood and to better society. So when Morioki was talking about that aspect of them being formed to improve society, specifically the Freemasons did it in order to make society better through community service, charity, and building moral character. They are really big on integrity and respecting and tolerance. So the Freemasons allow a divergence of religions, including atheism for some. Like here in Kenya, I'm told the Freemason lodges allow atheists to join them, but in other countries and in other lodges, they don't. So yeah, Chilwell was also spot on that. What else can I add? I think some prominent Freemasons in history include George Washington, Mozart, the musician, and Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, the person that formed it was, a predominant person there is Wolfgang. Yeah, so the question I asked you is, do we think Illuminati still exists today, or is it the stuff of hearsay and conspiracy theories only? I also asked you about the symbols of the Illuminati, and I also want to know the symbols of the Freemasons and what influence have the Freemasons had in society. If you are aware, let's keep contributing. Yes, I see Ndeve's hand is up. Go ahead, Ndeve.
Thanks, Dorcas. Hello, everybody. Let me just do away with the Illuminati, because in my research from AI and from Encyclopedia Britannica, Illuminati seems to be more in the, hello young one, in the theory of conspiracy than in the real thing. But I don't know what other people have found. However, when it comes to Freemasonry, and in some places where conspiracy theories are rife, or they have a lot of ground, like in Kenya, Illuminati is a big thing. It's even associated with the devil worship and all other things. because just the conspiracy is, it's like junk food. It goes down really well. So, but on the other hand, Freemasonry is a real thing. In fact, in my little place, town here, Cornwall, which is not big, we do have a lodge here in Cornwall, and the members are, it's not even a secret. The membership is not a secret. It is as they say, Freemasonry is not a secret society, it's just a society which has secrets. I don't even know what the secrets are because the members are known. Where the lodge is, it's not a secret. You can go there, you can see their pictures, photographs, Christmas photographs, so you can see the faces. If you know the people in town, you can see if they are members of our Freemasonry. And the symbols of Freemasonry are actually quite famous. The first time I saw that symbol, it was in the front bumper of somebody that I was dating, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, these look like measuring, like Mason things. But anyway, the symbols are known and they are not secret. So it's only that they have secrets, but the society is not secret as such. And it is a real, Freemasonry is a real, Freemasons are a real thing. You can Google and find where all the lodges are and see their Christmas parties, the faces of their Christmas party members, the members of their, yeah. So yeah, that is what I found about in my own area, because I said, yeah, I think it's about time to find where the lodge is. And one of these days I'll go and just visit the lodge, just see the lodge and see if I can. I know I can't become a member. It looks like all old men. Maybe if it's all old men, they might now be ready to welcome women as members. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Debe, for that. And in fact, as you were speaking, I remembered the aspect, that symbol of the compass is a Masonic symbol, and it comes from their medieval Gilded Age. Kindly mute, somebody's mic is on. Their compass comes from. Oh, okay. Am I?
Oh, was that me? Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh. So it comes from the medieval Masonic tradition. That profession is the one that began it. That's why the word Mason is in there. And then free, because they wanted to promote the freedom to express yourself without interference from religion or other authority figures in their society. So Freemason has that Masonic background. I wanted to add that as well. And as Neve was speaking, I was wondering, would you guys, given their values, if we articulate all their values and their objectives, given their values, would you join? Debe wouldn't, because she's a woman, unfortunately, in this context. Would you join? So we're answering those three questions. What are the symbols of the Illuminati? How do you identify that somebody is in the Illuminati? Symbols of the Freemasons as well. What is the impact of the Freemasons in society? And finally, okay, there are many questions. There's another one. Does the Illuminati still exist today? Okay, or is it just a conspiracy theory? And finally, would you join the organization? Wait, I said that. What was the other thing? It has slipped my mind. It has slipped my mind. I'll remember it as we continue. Yes, I think it was Chilwe first, then Muriuki, and then ex-pastor. Chilwe.
So I think the most popular symbol of the Illuminati is the eye in the pyramid. I think how they refer to it is an eye atop a pyramid surrounded by a glory proper. And I think it's also a symbol on the US dollar. Um, so I I think in music, people have always been saying, oh, I think was it Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Rihanna, that the three of them are in the Illuminati, and that you can find like Illuminati symbols within the music. So yeah, I think there are multiple symbols, not just those ones, but those would be the common ones. So I guess maybe that's a question I could also ask the rest of you is, who are the suspected members of the Illuminati, like famous people that you know, who people are like, hey, this guy is probably part of the Illuminati? Because to me, I think it's more of like a Hollywood thing. Like, I hear about how in Hollywood there's a lot of blackmail and manipulation. Like if you want to get ahead, sometimes you're forced into having sex. Sometimes they say gay sex for some reason, and they use it to blackmail you or something. And at first I thought it was a myth, and then you hear about Diddy and his freak off parties. So you're like, maybe not all of it is false. So yeah, maybe you guys can answer. Do you think someone like Diddy is also part of the Illuminati? Yeah.
And Chilwell, would you join the Freemasons? Okay, we can debate about Illuminati. Would you join the Freemasons?
So I've been thinking about it, and I think those guys are evil because what are they hiding? There's no way they're actually good guys. If they were good, what would they be hiding? Because at first I was like, oh, neocolonialism isn't true, and then I find out it's true. So I'm like, okay, maybe all these rumors about the Freemasons being evil, maybe they're actually true. So yeah, I think applying Occam's razor, they're probably not the best of people. And they know that. They know that if they wanted to prove to the world that they are good people, they would just reveal their secrets, but they choose to remain in secrecy. So I think they're probably evil, and they'll probably blackmail you into not leaving. So I don't know. Maybe to satisfy my curiosity, maybe when I'm like 70 years old or something, I'll just join to see, before I die. So just in case they plan on killing me, I'll have lived like a full life or something. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Chilwe will join when he has nothing to lose. When he has squeezed the most value from life. Okay, but he opposes the secret nature of this society. That's the main obstacle for him not joining. Okay, thank you so much, Chilwe. Next is Morioki, and then ex-pastor, and then Debe, in that order.
Thanks, Dorcas. For me, just like children, because I've heard so many stories about it, it's kind of creepy. So this music industry, Hollywood, entertainers, like it's linked with Illuminati, and so they link it with devil worshipping, and signs like snakes, eagles, fire, scorpions, all those are linked with it, showing Satan, even tigers, signifying evil and Satanism. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Morioki. So, do you think those symbols, Morioki, are an indication of their actual intentions? Do you think that they actually worship the devil, in your view?
Yeah, like in the music industry in Hollywood, I believe so. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. It's just, it's in the mind now. Like now, a tiger, because they are vicious, they link you to the devil. But it's not. But now they link you to Satan. Even scorpions.
No,
Such things.
Morioki, that is the stuff out of which conspiracy theories are made. The tiger will link you to the devil. There is no such thing as a devil. But anyway, we'll get into that discussion under conspiracy theories, because I feel like you have a lot to say there, which we can challenge under skeptical lenses. Tehuti, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Can you see where to raise your hand? There is a line for contributing. Okay. If you can see it, raise your hand. If not, you will go after Ndeve in the line. So next is ex-pastor. Please remember to lower your hand when you're done. Chiliweb and Morioki.
So you ask about the symbol. The symbol, so about the symbol is normally aligned with the religious, the most religious, because whenever they see those symbols, like the symbol of the eye and the pyramid, they end up thinking it's a symbol of devil. So that is where they differ with the religion. So about whether Illuminati still exists. For me, I have no idea, because this thing is just like a conspiracy theory. People claim the Illuminati still exists, but there is no single evidence to prove Illuminati is still existing after 1975, I think so. So I don't think whether this group still exists today. The only group that I know exists today is Freemason. And about whether given a chance I can join Illuminati, assuming it exists, or I can join Freemason, which normally exists. For me, I will say a big no. The reason being, Freemason believe in supreme being, higher power. So they believe in a higher power, even if they don't call him God, but I think they call him deity. So they believe in a higher power. And for me, I'm skeptical about that. I cannot believe something without evidence. So it's Freemason is a form of religion. So I cannot join them for that point. But if they can remove that believing in higher power and remain with the rest about their humanity, then I can join them. If I get some benefit from there, maybe socializing and other benefits. But for now, I cannot join them because they are still part of religion. Thank you. You are muted.
Yes, I'm trying to unmute.
Okay.
I'm trying to unmute. Can somebody unmute me?
But we can hear you, Dorcas. Why do we need to unmute you?
Oh, you can hear me? Because now I'm muted. Okay, now I've unmuted. My microphone was showing that I was muted, yet you guys could hear me. Yeah. So ex-pastor wouldn't join them because of that requirement of believing in a supreme being. Most lodges are like that. As I said, there are few exceptional lodges that are kind of accept not believe a supreme being, but for the most part, it is a requirement. So ex-pastor wouldn't consider them. And it's also important to note that it is not a religious organization. It is a membership organization, but they require their members to believe in a supreme being. You see, when you call them a religious organization, it would be like maybe the International Deist Association. That's a religious organization. So I think it's important to clarify that bit. They are not a religious organization, they are a membership organization, but they restrict membership to people who believe in a supreme being. I needed to add that. Somebody has typed something, I can't even access it. Akisimu yangu. Was it addressed to me on the chat? If someone can read it. If it wasn't addressed to me, then we can skip.
It's not relevant, so just a comment.
Oh, yeah, it's good to laugh a little. So next is Ndebe, then Tehuti, then Chilweb in that order.
Yeah, thanks, Dorcas. Yeah, the symbols of Freemasonry, well, of course, the compass and the square, obviously measuring instruments, probably at a time when many people in the membership were Masons, or maybe these were new instruments in the market, and looked very sophisticated, like technology. Maybe those days they were high tech. The compass and the measuring were probably high tech in those days, but that symbol actually looks very good. It's very noticeable. Maybe that is just me saying that because I know the kind of instruments that they were. But when I first saw them, for some reason, I knew that they meant something. Because here is a compass and here is a square. That's gotta mean something. But then anyway, so when I learned about Freemasonry, then I could understand why they would choose that. But the arrangement is also quite interesting. Now, would I join? Well, seeing as they don't include women, and I saw the lodge near us in their Christmas party, they all wore kilts. That was weird that all of them wore kilts. I don't think that they are all Scots. I'm sure they are not all Scots, but they all wore kilts. But anyway, so that is yeah. That is what now. The one thing that I would like to put in as to why these people decided to make this kind of club is also the same thing that we as atheists, it's not everybody that can be in our group. I was in a chat with another group of Kenyans here who think that atheists preach, and without insulting people, you can't tell them that we wouldn't even accept some of you guys, because if you tell them that, it will be just like a big insult, because you're telling them you guys don't question anything, so you don't belong among atheists. Because as soon as you tell somebody like that, it's kind of it's a low grade insult. Maybe not a very low grade. It's an insult. It's an insult. Therefore, I would imagine that these societies in those days were probably people who were the more questioning, the more informed, the more illuminated of the society, and they felt that the other hoi polloi did not belong in those groups because they didn't have the ideals, or maybe they didn't have the questions, or they didn't have the would I say the same thoughts? They didn't entertain the same thoughts that these groups entertained, and they didn't think that the other people fitted in that club. That's how I would compare it between atheists ourselves and those so-called secret societies. because today there are people, particularly in Africa, who think that atheists eat children, or are cannibalists, or they are devil worshippers. I mean, come to think about it, you can understand how those societies would come about and be exclusive, exclude some people who will just be a waste of time. Sorry, did I just say a waste of time? I'm sorry. I think they probably just a waste of time, because you're trying to start from a certain level, and this person is going to drag you down to start from a different level. Now, I wish I could put it in a different, but I think that is probably how these secret societies came about. If today we still have people who think that atheists sacrifice children or drink blood or are devil worshippers, if you don't believe in God, why would you believe in it? It looks like a very simple question, but there is somebody struggling. There's somebody somewhere in Kenya with a PhD struggling how we are not devil worshippers. Yeah. So that's how I would put it, and that's how these societies came to have some secrets and to exclude some people. Thank you.
Very well said, Deva. Indeed, they were motivated by the need to think differently. They were free thinkers, those Freemasons and the original Illuminati. They were free thinkers. They were people who questioned the status quo. And they also needed to shield themselves from those authority figures that might have interfered with their philosophical or moral thinking. That's why they had to go underground for that time, and it continued until today. So very well said, Devin. Yes, Tehuti, you are next. Karibu.
Okay. Barieno mko sawa. First of all, I think there's been a lot of misinformation like, throughout the years about perception of the Illuminati over the years. Only until recently, during the advancement of the internet, did people actually understand what the Illuminati is, because there were a lot of rumors, and no, I can be very sure that no one in the public eye is in the Illuminati. And there are several societies, and I think most people like view them as one, but they're separate. Like the Illuminati, I think it started in ancient Egypt. There were these guys, these so-called enlightened people who wanted to explain the world. They wanted to understand how the world works, because they were operating on a higher frequency. Then the secrets were passed on up to maybe Europe. I don't know where it ended in Europe. And speaking of these lodges, there's a time in 2019 we were driving around in New Year's Eve, clubs zote zimejaa, so because stranded. Then we come across these Freemason lodge. We can hear they're playing Afrobeats music. So like, comes on a cheza ngoma, what the fuck is going on? So we go. At the gate, we are stopped by two watchmen, and they are telling us that only Indians are allowed in. I never understood, because I know there are also Indian Freemasons. There's the kuna Persians. But anyway, and if I could join, I would join if I understood what it was exactly. Or for
Okay.
ships and vessels.
Okay, thank you, Tehuti. He has brought up a very interesting angle there of not only exclusion, because we have established they exclude women, Freemasons, but he has also brought up the angle of excluding members of certain races. That's a complaint we've had in other quarters. And he also admits that his lack of knowledge about them would prevent him from joining them. Thank you, Tehuti. Lastly, we have children in the line before we move to the next subtopic.
Yes, so I wanted to give one more reason not to join. I have an Italian friend who told me about this Masonic lodge that was in Italy called P2, Propaganda Due, D-U-E. If you can Google it and you can see there's an article on Wikipedia. And I can just read the first bit of it. It says, it was a Masonic lodge founded in 1877 with the tradition of continental Freemasonry under the authority of Grand Orient of Italy. Its Masonic charter was withdrawn in 1976, and it was transformed by worshipful master Licio Gelli into an international, illegal, clandestine, anti-communist, anti-Soviet, anti-Marxist, radical right criminal organization and secret society operating in contravention of Article 18 of the Constitution of Italy that banned all such secret associations. Licio Gelli continued to operate the unaffiliated lodge from 1976 to 1984. P2 was implicated in numerous Italian crimes and mysteries, including the collapse of the Polizia-affiliated Banco Ambrosano, the contract killings of journalist Carmine Pecorelli, and mobbed up bank president Roberto Calvi, and political corruption cases within nationwide Tangentopoli bribery scandal. P2 came to light through investigations into the collapse of Michael Sindona's financial empire. So yeah, you can read the rest of the article. Technically, I guess the lord was converted, I guess, into a criminal organization. But if it was converted, it makes you wonder, who are the members that joined in the first place? Like, does that mean they had criminal ambitions from the beginning? Because you can't just convert. You know, it's like if I walk into a church today and say, okay, now we're going to become like a criminal organization. If those guys were true believers in Christ, I don't necessarily think they would all turn into criminals. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would just say people should read that article, and maybe it might give you a better idea of what some of these other Masonic lodges might be up to. Because again, at first, everything was looking normal, but it's only until people found out that they're engaging in criminal activities that the lodge was disbanded or that the police got involved. So yeah, once my friend told me about that, I was like, wow.
Wow. Hey. Okay. Spain. Spain has seen some things there regarding. Oh, sorry, Italy. Okay. Italy has experienced some problems there from the Freemasons. that is, if the article is to be believed, I will verify myself, because there's always the danger that it could be yet another conspiracy theory. Tehuti, remember to lower your hand after contributing. Yes, Mr. Chair, way long time no see. You're looking good and youthful. Karibu.
It's not me, it's pesa ya Illuminati. Anaitwaje? Chilwave. Hey, Chilwave, you have made a very funny point at that just concluded that these people started doing criminal activities and these people believed in Jesus. So if they are truly followers of Jesus, how they all suddenly turn to doing criminal activities. One of the worst criminal enterprise or criminal activity that ever happened for a long time, for over 4 centuries, was the Crusades. And every one of them who came from Europe went to that to kill people in the name of Jesus Christ. There's, I don't think, other than Muhammad, there's another figure that people have turned instantly criminal for the sake. Like it's very easy, even nowadays. Look, even kunaitwaje kule Kilifi kule kwa yule pastor wenu. Just see how it's easy to Kahora. It's the easy, and it's not unique to Jesus. Religious people are the easiest to turn into a criminal element in the probably thinking. It's always in the disguise of this is what the God wants. Go and kill people, go and do this. So yeah, that bit I would disapprove. I would disagree with. It's very possible to go into a church and cult. For the general definition, let's say you can easily go into a cult and tell them the Lord has said you do X, Y, Z. We go and kill those people. We go and steal from those people, and it works like magic. Just imagine if Prophet Wall said that today. How many would happen today? So yeah, but anyway, me, I don't have much. May I join to hear? Morioki said there is people being given money, and that's exactly why I joined, because I wanted to hear who are these people giving money, from where. Morioki, I want details. I want specific details. I don't want general statement. When I join, how do I get this money? From who? I hear one of the conspiracy goes that they need a sacrifice of your relative or your friend. I have a friend I have like 3 friends I can give for a few dollars.
Yeah. I will remember next time not to befriend you. You might just sacrifice. Thank you for that clarification.
You'll go for $1 million. You're not for a few dollars.
At least now I know my value. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, it is important not to fall for the puritanical belief about religion, or the whitewashed image of religion, which we believe from the believers themselves. They say a true Christian wouldn't commit crime, a true Christian wouldn't kill others, but we have seen time and time again how they have done it. Even though that was a little bit off topic, but it is still related to cultic thinking. Now, before we hear from ex-pastor and other people, please start thinking of this next one, which is, how do you join? How do you join? Especially the Freemasons, the Illuminati. How do you join the Freemasons? What have you found out? Please feel free to Google now if you don't know, so that we can compare notes. Let me give my contribution on that first aspect of the discussion, which is the impact of Freemasons and the Illuminati, for that matter, symbols, and whether I would join. So when it comes to the symbols, I pretty much agree with all of you on the symbols that you have stated. I think For the Illuminati, it is the all-seeing eye, and sometimes they add other aspects like the horns of a goat. But that one is maybe in pop culture. The all-seeing eye is usually the predominant one with the pyramid that Chilwave mentioned. And owls are also considered to be a symbol for the Illuminati triangles and some other occultic images. For the Freemasons, symbols are what Deve mentioned, the compass and the square, as well as a G that is also incorporated in the Freemasons, and they tend to wear very formal attire. Sometimes it looks
You've frozen.
Am I the only one? Or
No, she's
we-
frozen. She's frozen.
okay. I don't know
Maybe
who is that.
it's the Illuminati who have frozen her.
They have poured money.
They don't want their secrets leaking out.
Maybe their powers are real. Maybe someone, El Maestro, you can proceed. Then she will be back.
Okay, for me, okay, you should not forget that there is one of us who really wanted to join this cult, but she left. It was this Misty, this Maureen Misty. So she was explaining to me how whatever was she was being told I don't know if it was they are genuine Illuminati or they're just people who are pretending, but she told me that there are some books that she was given to read first of all. That was the first thing. There are some books she was given to read. She must read all. Were they 2 or 3 books? So she was supposed to read those books, and then they ask her questions what she has learned this or about them. I don't know. I don't remember what the books were about. But I don't know at the second stage. The second stage she gave up or what, but when you join universities, I don't know, you are given first some books to read. So I never had her telling me about, I don't know, sacrificing your family member. I don't these things of, I don't know, sacrificing a family member. They're just a hoax, or people who are just come out with this thing. But I don't think it's real that when you join this Illuminati you have to sacrifice a family member. Just rumors or fake news spread faster than real news. Yeah, so that is the only thing I knew about this secret society. I learned it through someone who really wanted to join, but she gave up in the second stage. Yes.
Hi. Is she back? That person who Misty was meant to be our savior, and then she gave up midway. Maybe that's Tugiomoka water. I don't know if Nani is back. The host is back, but then we can just continue. Morioki, then Chilwave in that order.
Maurice, just for the record, I'm not your friend, Maurice. I'm not your friend. So don't ever think of sacrificing me. So I'm not your friend. Thanks.
They take both friends and enemies, so there's no escape.
You can sacrifice me. I want to go to heaven. You can sacrifice me. I'm here.
I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, Maurice. I'm safe.
I want to go to
El
heaven.
Maestro,
Yes?
El Maestro in danger.
I want to go to heaven. What? You don't want to go to heaven, Muruk? You don't want to go to heaven?
Heaven is here. Heaven is right here on earth. Heaven is here.
Okay, there is. I have this thing that is part of conspiracy about the sacrifice. Whenever we find somebody have been killed in a certain weird way, maybe his private or her private part have been removed. So the people end up saying it's a sacrifice. The people are sacrificing to Illuminati or Freemason or to the devil worshiper, to the devil. So I don't know how we can explain about those scenarios when we find some weird thing, because you can find maybe two people have been killed and both were being removed the private part, not the kidney, because the kidney we can say is a hot cake or a heart, but you find maybe it's a private part or eye. So I don't know what we can explain about those things that are being in that touch with the Illuminati or with the devil. I think as we wait
You have
the
to point
doctors
out
to
someone.
join, yeah, as
Stanley, you have to point out someone.
yeah.
No, I'm saying you have to say who to speak.
Yeah, I'm saying as we wait the doctors to join, let's hear from Chiriwe, then we hear from MJ.
Yeah, mine was just a rebuttal on the whole Christian thing. I think Morris had mentioned that the Crusades were evil and stuff like that, which is true, but I think that's more of like a very long time ago, like hundreds of years ago. I was more referring to modern Christianity. And I think you mentioned there are certain groups. I don't know much about Shakahola, but I was more referring to mainstream denominations of Christianity. So, for example, Methodist, Anglican, Presbyterian. Like if you're to walk into a Methodist or Anglican church and say, let's turn this entire church into a criminal organization, I don't think it would be as likely to happen unless the people of that denomination had criminal intent prior to the reformist joining. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I agree with you
Nice.
to some extent.
Yeah, proceed.
Yeah, I agree with you to some. There is, but what I was countering is this assumption that I'm sure when I became an atheist, there was always this question: where do your morals come from? Like, what prevent you from killing and do this? And then there is a notion that, oh, but why is he doing this and he's a Christian? Why is he doing this and he's a Muslim? A true Christian will never do that. So normally that there's this notion that, oh, morality comes from religion and the Christians are supposed to do good. Of course, it's a generally accepted thing in our society. And actually, I would give credit to religious people. Most of them try to strive for those ideals. But my point is, you're claiming that Nini was that someone would not show up and turn that cult or church or sect or denomination into doing evil. They don't have to be evil people. They just have to be some people who have a certain authority, like Prophet O'Wall or Mackenzie or whichever reverend or bishop, and you can then turn them into doing something evil. But anyway, let me not strawman your point, because the bigger point you are making is it was virtually impractical but not impossible. I don't know. I've also had this thing that Stano is talking about where people get sacrificed easily. Like I've said, I've not seen it myself. That a body was found without tongue, a body was found without certain parts. I have no idea how to. First of all, I don't know if it actually happens, but if it does, you know, witchcraft happens, and there's also what we call what do you call them, serial killers happens, and these people have different sort of wild fantasies, like the killer from 70s in New York, the famous kid. There's one who just went for a young prostitute. There's another one I was watching who was just going for people who are certain race, bald. So they could be motivated by anything. There was the Kenyan one who was just going for kids, young girls, not going for women. So I have no, I can't dispute it until we see that. But I don't think, what I can dispute is there's no spiritual power or whatever behind it. What it is someone who is psychotic or who is narcissistic or who is just a serial Machiavellist doing their thing. I wouldn't attribute it to certain things. I would be curious to know if there's a case that has been confirmed by police, especially in Kenya. When nasikianga, certain body was found without this organ, without all of them wametolewa macho, ulimi na certain organ. So yeah, but I see Dorcas is back, so you can take back ushukane.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
before
I'm
that,
so sorry. I just a bit, ex-pastor. I'm so sorry, guys. There was a problem with my internet. Safaricom, such rip-offs. No wonder they're the most profitable company.
Without its Illuminati fighting to keep the secret.
The secret cabal. So what have we discussed so far?
A lot, but we can proceed from where you left.
Oh, okay. Stano, you wanted to comment about something before?
okay, I'm just asking the Morris how we can explain to those who still have those conspiracy theory. Whenever we find a body with the missing private part or an eye, they end up saying this person was sacrificed to the devil, either through witchcraft that you have said, or through Illuminati and so on. So how can we explain to such scenario from a serial killer who have killed, who have done those mess?
Let me just take one minute to say that. I'll borrow words of who? I don't know who said these words. Must have been Jesus Christ or someone. Salvation is not for everybody. There are people I have just learned I have to give up in life. No, I can't save everybody. If you find a body that has been maybe shot by a police officer with a bullet, and you want now to make insinuation that, oh, you know, Ruto joined Illuminati, and now this is part of the conspiracy, and the Illuminati have asked body with bullet. You can't dispute. It is too much work to try to explain to people something. So, like at that point, I just give up. The only thing you always have to keep at the back of your mind is that you don't have the honors, you don't have the burden to explain every theory, every conspiracy that someone comes up with. If today I just say that the body we found here, which was maybe killed in a very natural way, maybe by a murderer or someone, has a certain body missing, and I make my own conspiracy theory, then it's not your burden to explain. It's the burden of me who is coming up with a conspiracy to prove it. And if I don't prove it, then all you have to do is call out the bullshit, tell them if you can't prove it, just look at it as a normal matter, because you can't explain every conspiracy in Zoe. There are just too many. People make conspiracy out of everybody. And the evidence of these people who normally come up with this confidence is, this conspiracy is always, ni mimi nakwambia, si usikize, mi ndiye nakwambia, mi story ndiye nakwambia. That's the only evidence they'll tell you. I'm the one telling you. They never come up with actual explanation or logic or whatever. Is believe me. Actually, nimeona kwa macho yangu. I know this thing. So There's no way. The answer is there's no way you can explain these things to such people. Just tell them to prove it. If they can't, tell them it's a hoax and bullshit.
Aha. Yes, what a carefree way of living life, indeed. If you take on the burden of enlightening the world, you'll die a quick death. Yes, I was talking about the impact of Freemasons, not the Illuminati, because I believe that the Illuminati society, as a real society that has rules and that recruits people, does not exist today. All the people who are accused of being in the Illuminati currently are just they're just victims. They are scapegoats. I don't think there is a real Illuminati. Maybe you can find a witch doctor somewhere saying, I give you Illuminati services. That is a con man. So I don't think there is an Illuminati now. There was historically, and it stopped existing in 1785. There was a little ripple effect in Europe, but for the most part, it stopped existing. So that's the Illuminati. But for Freemasons, they are a real organization, and they have all these rituals, all these processes for joining on these rules, and they also have an impact in society. So what is the impact I feel for Freemasons? They have done some charity work for society in general. That one is a fact. They have provided mutual support to each other. If you are a Mason and you pass on, they will take care of the person who dies. I mean, the widows or the family of the deceased. They'll try their level best to take care of widows and the family. So there's mutual support. And then they also have promoted tolerance by allowing a vast number of religious beliefs. There's tolerance. However, I think the tolerance has limits because it excludes those that don't believe in a higher power, i.e. atheists. So maybe let me take away that impact and say it's a two-edged sword there. I can also say that it has promoted a bit of free thought, because they engage in philosophical and moral discussions or lessons. They really insist on building somebody's character. So that's what I would say on the impact. Whether I would join, no, partly because of the stigma associated with them. This was the same reason why I wouldn't join Satanists, the atheistic Satanist associations or societies. I wouldn't join them, even though we share some similar ideals, because they're already so stigmatized. We as atheists are stigmatized, and then now I go to another stigmatized group to compound my stigma. Let me deal with my struggle. There's that aspect. I wouldn't also join them because of the gender exclusion. I think that isn't a good thing in this day and age, as well as that aspect of requiring you to believe in a supreme being. Then I also I'm suspicious of the rituals because they have mystical underpinning, even though they deny that they are not religious. Yes, I agree. But they have that history. I just want to engage in rituals that don't make sense to me. And I also find that they are so rigid. They have all of these rules about their conduct. including not discussing politics or religion. And to me, those are the juiciest and the best parts of society. If I can't talk about politics and if I can't talk about religion, then what am I discussing? So I feel like they're too restrictive in that respect, and I wouldn't join them. But I sympathize with some of their ideals, like free thinking, like mutual support and charity or community service. I think that is definitely a force for good in that respect. So we are going to proceed. Time is not on our side. We are going to proceed to the one that most of you have been trying to talk about, which is conspiracy theories. What are the conspiracy theories around Illuminati and Freemasons? Why do you call them conspiracy theories? Right? Why do you call them conspiracy theories? On how to join, you need to find a Mason to become one. So find a Mason. The Mason will then, and to find the Mason, just Google, find a lodge near you, then contact some officials there. Maybe it might be a secretary or somebody. Then they will invite you to visit the lodge. If you don't like that lodge, go and visit another lodge. And then once you find a lodge that is suitable to you, they'll give you an application form, you fill it and return it. They will vet it and invite you for an interview with like 3 people. Then they will discuss your application in the next meetup, and they will vote to admit you or not. For you to be admitted, number 1, you must be a man. Number 2, you must believe in a supreme being. Number 3, you must not have a criminal past. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need to be rich. And actually, they won't even give you money. Oh, yeah. Maybe just the mutual support for the ones that have widows that are deceased, or maybe in terms of networking, but there's no money to be given. In fact, the Freemasons here in Nairobi had rent arrears amounting to millions. Sakaja's government closed them up because of not paying rent. They don't have the money people believe that they have. So I had to put that out there. Let's proceed to conspiracy theories. Which conspiracy theories are associated with them? Also, what are the criticisms of these 2 secret societies? We'll start with the Maestro, go to Morioki, and then MJ in that order.
Okay, thank you. While you're away, by the way, I explained, I hope you remember our very own Misty also wanted to join this society. So,
Oh, I didn't know.
he never explained it to you.
No.
Okay, what she explained to me is that the first thing they were given, I don't know if they were, but for me, she was just telling me her said that she was given 2 or 3 books to read, and then go back there and getting asked questions, then to move to the next stage. But now maybe she was desperate for for the money that she thinks they offer. Then she gave up. She said, I thought by just joining, I'll now start earning money, but there is a lot to do. I don't, maybe she might have been told maybe there are some other stages that might take time for her to be fully in that society, but maybe she just gave up after the first stage. So the conspiracy theories that I've heard about, the first thing is this sacrifice. There's nothing like, I don't know, that you have to sacrifice your family member or your friends. That these are just rumors. That is not true. Rumors or fake news, they always travel faster than the truth. Yeah? These are they're just rumors or fake news. There's nothing like sacrificing your person. And then the other conspiracy theory that anyone who is successful, anyone who is successful, you must be in Illuminati. Like, you know, this trend was, I don't know if you guys remember, somewhere in 2012, 2013, 2014, anyone who is successful, they say this guy is Illuminati. That time I was still in high school, and that time Diamond Platnumz was now a rising star, and he could do no wrong. Every song he sings, he releases is a hit. Hey, my friends, they could not believe. They started saying, no, who Illuminati? This is not humanly possible. This is Illuminati. They even started saying footballers like Messi and Ronaldo. Oh no, you can't be that good. You must be Illuminati. No, everything that everyone is just successful, they're attributing it to Illuminati. And some even believed it because there's this music producer in Kenya who is Magic. He's called Magic's Enga. He also said that I don't know, he joined the Illuminati to become successful, but I don't think that is true. It's just a lie. But yeah, those are the conspiracy theories that I've heard about it. You can't be successful without being an Illuminati. Yeah. Thank you.
Indeed. They can't prove it. They cannot prove that Diamond Platinum or Messi or all those successful personalities are Illuminati. They're just purporting it. Next is Morioki.
Thanks, Dr. Can I ask El Maestro a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ask.
El Maestro, are you saying that concept of Diamond, when he enters in a coffin, his face has a skeleton, it looks so sinister, it means nothing? El Maestro, are you serious? It means nothing.
He has only done it only once. He only did it only once. He entered the stage like coughing only once. Only once.
Yeah, why?
Maybe to creativity, being creative. You just want him to be sterile every time he enters on set. It's just like walking out of nowhere, and he's on stage every time. That is being creative, and he has just done that only once. And why a coffin is just it is just a piece of wood and some metals. Why do you make a big deal of a coffin? Coffin is just some pieces of wood. Huh?
For me, that entry proved it all. That entry of Diamond proved it all to me that he's part of it. That was a sinister entry.
No, he's not. Diamond is,
and then also,
he's not.
Okay, then I want to add the Olympics, the opening ceremony, the Olympics of Paris, Paris Olympics. That also was a sign of Illuminati. The Olympics.
Why?
Yeah, that it was so obvious. They even apologized. They tried to hide, but people could see through their hiding. It was a sign of
because of the transgender people.
The supper, the disciples, and Jesus Christ, the Last Supper.
How are those part of the Illuminati in Muruki now?
They are mocking religion. Yeah. Okay. It's obvious they're trying to mock religion. And that's what devil worshippers do. Satan is mock religion.
The
but
thing
but
is,
then Morioki,
yeah.
Go and research on what that sign meant when it looked like they're imitating the 12 disciples, but it was not. That was not what they were intending to pass out. They did not apologize. They explained. It was not. It had nothing to do with the 12 disciples and Jesus. It had nothing to do with that.
Whatever. Okay. Whatever.
I would like members to respond to Morioki's allegations that indeed the Olympics, the Paris Olympics, were part of the Illuminati, and Diamond Platinum performing from a coffin is also a side of the Illuminati. But the quick response I would give you, Morioki, I'm not going to address the major aspects, other people will. But even if I were to grant you your assertion that the Paris Olympic intended on mocking religion, like what Satanists do, then that would show that they are Satanists, they are not the Illuminati. We did not define the Illuminati as being devil worshippers or being people that mock religion. No, that's not a qualification for being in the Illuminati or the Freemasons for that matter. Maybe you could call the Paris Olympic Satanists, but I'm not even granting you that. I'm just dealing with that angle only. Let the other people address the problems with your argument. And also, let's continue giving conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and the Freemasons, or legitimate criticism of this body, this secret society. Yes, MJ?
So, Morioki, when you say those people are mocking religion, therefore they are Illuminati or Satanists. So are we Satanists? Are we Illuminati? Because I think one of our goals indirectly is to mock religion, to show how ridiculous religion is.
Have you done it? Have you ever done it? Show me where you've done it, like they did it in Paris. Show me where.
Do you think, in your own opinion, do you
did
think
it.
religion is a ridiculous idea?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree. The God
so you're
thing,
mocking
God in the
religion,
cloud. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. There's no God in the sky. There's no God in the sky and devil in the
And
cloud. That's
number two.
There's no heaven, no hell.
Number two, the image that you are actually referring to, the disciples, it was by that famous artist. What is his name? That famous Paris artist. The one who drew the last.
Michelangelo.
I'm not sure. I've not heard Michelangelo. I think there's another name for it. But they were. This is a 15th century. It's the equivalent of Mona Lisa, isn't it? It's like a very famous painting that has been done. I don't remember that artist, but it's very famous, like Mona Lisa. The one who did that, it could be Michelangelo actually. But so do you see that has nothing to do with Nini, with the 12 disciples, with the Last Supper specifically? This was just Paris showcasing the talent and the prowess of their famous people. This is like UK showcasing Isaac Newton. It's been over 300-400 years ago, but still the impact is still vibrates over centuries ago. So it's like us showcasing who? Okay, we don't even know anybody of Kenya from less than 100 years old. But you get the point. It is ridiculous to say that now they were mocking religion, therefore they're Illuminati. Religion should be more, not religion specifically, any ridiculous idea should be mocked, ridiculed, and put in its place. If you tell me the earth is flat, and then now you want me to, if I show how ridiculous that idea, then you're like, oh, you're trying to mock you are mocking us. No, I'm not mocking you, I'm mocking the idea. So you see what you want, anything. I'm sure you've seen the image that Chilwave has put on the profile. I'm sure you're reading like, wow, how can that Nini have so much red eyes? Has Chilwave joined this secret society? Because you're reading everything into everything. No, you're reading everything to everything. What is wrong with Diamond? We're putting yourself in a coffin. Everybody here will either go into a coffin one way or the other. What is wrong with that? And what has that got to do with anything?
Was he dead? He wasn't dead. He wasn't dead yet. Was he dead? He wasn't dead.
It wasn't?
He wasn't dead yet. He was alive. He wasn't dead. He was alive.
Yeah, that's why it's called acting. That's why it's called art. It's called art. When you see Mama Kayai and other people acting on movie that they have been, or in program they have been divorced, you think actually they have divorced in actual life?
These are dead person from a coffin, eh? Morris, somebody dead from a coffin. Come on. Did you watch it? You watched that entry of Diamond Platform?
I've watched worse than that from US pop industry, and people are just being creative. So you want everybody to just wear a suit, nice, present themselves, and this is the creative art industry. Eh?
No,
Wear a nice
I didn't
suit,
say that.
show up,
No,
polish
no,
their shoes. Why are you showing up with dirty shoes and polished shoes? Are you Illuminati? No, I mean,
no, don't come in a coffin. Don't come with a coffin in a skeleton. Skeletons, coffin.
or you
No,
want them to be
Morioki.
creative. You want them to be creative, but the limit of your imagination, right?
Morioki,
Yeah.
when is your
Yeah,
birthday? I make a cake for you in form of a human being.
I don't celebrate birthdays.
No, you won't. We will. Just tell us.
Morioki, I think this is just a reflection of your inability to understand abstract concepts and art or representation of certain ideas using art. There's nothing special about a coffin that we should never touch a coffin at your skeleton. We should never show that when we are performing. No, those are your rules. That is Morioki's world. But according to other people, there's nothing that is untouchable. They can display anything they want in their performances. There are people who show blood, death and all that in their performances. And it's not an indication that they belong to a secret society or they're satanic or any of that. It's just for the spectacle. So you need to make peace with that. Don't jump to conclusions when it comes to that. So please keep making your contributions on conspiracy theories or legitimate criticism. And let's also think as the last question, why do we think that the Freemasons, the Illuminati, or any secret society is subject to conspiracy theories? Why does it attract conspiracy theories? What is it about the Freemasons or the Illuminati that makes them such an attractive option for conspiracy theories? What qualities are causing it? As we think about that answer, and that will be the final contribution we make before we end the meeting, because we have, I think, 10 minutes left. I can also give my input on conspiracy theories I've had for the Freemasons and the Illuminati. So for the Freemasons, we have had that one, which El Maestro addressed, that there are people, if you're wealthy, if you're rich, if you're highly successful, you are a Freemason. Even the Illuminati, it's the same. Here in Kenya, I listened to Kenyan shows. I listened to Kenyan shows that were talking about the Freemasons, because there have been some prominent Freemasons that have put themselves out there, and they've talked about the process of joining Freemasonry. And when I read the comments, I was appalled. We are a nation of conspiracy theories. People don't think in Kenya. Oh my gosh. I feel so lost. I feel so lonely in such a country. It is terrible. We are unfree thinkers. They were quoting Bible verses and saying how the devil is finally showing his true colors openly. He's recruiting in public. Maina Kageni had been talking about it. You just read the comments. They were giving scathing attacks. They were saying that these people are a secret human sacrifice organization. For you to join and get the benefits of being a Freemason, and by the benefits I mean you succeeding in your business, in your art, in your career, you have to sacrifice your family members. If not, you have to sacrifice someone. That is the reason why they were saying these days we have a lot of traffic accidents. the traffic accidents are because of the Freemasons, people joining the Freemasons. That's why people are dying all over in the roads. Excuse me. We are not designing our roads well. We have irresponsible drivers. That's why accidents are increasing. If at all they're increasing, it should just be increased media publicity of the accidents. It might not even be that the accidents are increasing in number. It's just a conspiracy theory. So that one of sacrificing humans to get wealth is very prominent for the Freemasons, especially here in Kenya. The other conspiracy theory is that they control government, and there's a Jewish front ready to dominate the world. You know, there's a new world order theory that has been going around, and it's attributed to the Freemasons. Then sometimes it even it got an actual person that was attributed to it. The Turkish president, President Mustafa, was murdered, and they claimed that it was the Illuminati. I mean, not the Illuminati, but the Freemasons that did it, because the Turkish president at that time outlawed the Freemasons. But there's no direct correlation. There's no evidence to point that these Freemasons are the ones that killed the president. People were just forging connections by saying, oh, he ordered the closure of Freemason lodges, so they are the ones that caused him to die. No, you have to give proof. And then for, of course, the Illuminati, there are all of those allegations, the assassination of JFK, Tupac Shakur, the First World War, any major happening, it is attributed to this secret cabal of the elite that exist. There are also conspiracy theories around the evil eye in the dollar bill, that the reason why only a few people get rich is because we have that evil eye, the Illuminati symbol that controls everything. And of course, in Hollywood, it has been very attractive because of pop singers using it for clout. You know, they use it to make sales. Any publicity is good publicity. Katy Perry released another song, I think in the 2010s, by Katy Perry and someone is a rapper, and she has this prominent evil eye in the song. Make me your one and only. That one. So you wanna play with magic? That song, she has the evil eye. Madonna also has an Illuminati song in an album she released in 2015. Lady Gaga, Rihanna, they play around with those symbols for more publicity. They don't really mean it, but some people believe them and they claim, they must be in the Illuminati. Those are the conspiracy theories. So last question, before we call it a night, why do these secret societies attract conspiracy theories? Let's start with Endeavor before we go to MJ.
Thanks, Dorcas. I wanted to say that in as far as Kenya's conspiracy theories about who joins or who is a Freemason, I was wondering whether people get into these societies to get rich, or they are fished because they are already rich or they are already successful. Maybe that's how they enter into the club in the first place. You know how clubs work, right? You are recruited because of a certain reason. Maybe you are a very good athlete. Well, they say, let's approach this person and bring him in, or they are wealthy, or they are influential. So I don't think, just because of how conspiracy theories work, it probably is not that you go there to get rich, that they fish you because you're already rich. That's how I would look at it, and just kill that conspiracy completely. Because personally, I can't stand these conspiracies and so forth, because if they were sacrificing children or such and such a thing, it wouldn't take long before it comes out. And saying that that is why people are dying on the road, well, that's a very good reason for not fixing the roads and the rules. Duh. I traveled in Kenya in buses, and this was actually twice. Okay, once during the day and twice at night, from Malindi to Emali at night. And for the first time I was in a bus and I was really happy and comfortable because the driver was keeping to the speed. So there was no the nonsense that I used to have in the 80s, and I would go because I needed to get back to work, go from Nairobi and be at work in Mombasa, and I'm traveling at night. And if you got to work back, well, good luck. Then I traveled from Kisumu to Nairobi at night, and it was the same thing. It was nice, it was comfortable. I don't think you have to blame Illuminati for accidents. It is the roads and the drivers. If you do the right thing, there will be no accidents. So talking about blood sacrifice on the roads is a very good way for not doing the right thing. But anyway, that is one of the problems of conspiracy theories. They are brought out by the funny people in the society, the lazy thinker, or someone incapable of thinking. They come up with this. I don't even know how they come up with these things. And then everybody latches onto it because it's easy. It's like junk food. It's easy to latch on. Very good mushene. You know, when you talk about it, you sound like the smart person in the group. Oh boy. But anyway, so these conspiracy theories, they are dangerous, but particularly in a place like Kenya, it's dangerous because we still do have people who have no skepticism. They are into religion, and if you can tell them that that's where the devil is, oh wow, that's they will not see what Mackenzie is doing. They will just see the devil in what they can't see. And also the reason why people go for these societies that they know very little about it and they want to know something, but the society is not going to open its book to just everybody. Why should they open their books to just everybody? What reason do they have to open it to Mutua in Makueni or to Kamau in Muranga? What does Kamau have to do with it? To seeing their books or seeing with their statutes or their rules and regulations? They don't have to do that, and then that is what creates that. And there's no cure for that. It's not. Yeah, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do that just to make us happy. We are going to have to be happy without knowing what all their secrets are. But we can know what we can know from them, because I do understand that, people can get information even from the lodge master, and you have to be happy with what you get and ask you whatever questions you have. But most of the people who probably will go there will not go there with enough questions to get as much information. They'll just be going there looking for the devil with the horns and and not looking for the real information. So thank you.
Very interesting take there, and I like what you said about wealthy people being in the Freemasons. It could be the reverse order. It could be that the vetting process, as I told you how to join it, you have to undergo a rigorous process and even an interview. After you send in the application form, after you visited the lodge, after first you contact a Freemason, visit the lodge, and then get the application form, fill it and send it to them. They will now invite you for an interview. Once they finish the interview, then they will vote on whether to admit you or not. So that process is not very transparent, and they could be considering your prominence in society. So they might, if you are a nobody, you're some jobless person who is not famous, you have no impact, maybe they can tell you, oh, application rejected. And then they might focus on the prominent one. So yeah, that could be a likely explanation. If at all, there are many wealthy people in Freemasons, but we can't even be sure of that because we don't have data on the Kenyans who are in the Freemasons and their income bracket. We don't know for sure, so we can say it's just for the rich. But that is also a likely explanation if that's the case. So thank you, Debe. Morioki, guys, we are winding up. If you have a final remark on these secret societies, you can also raise your hand because we are almost out of time. Yes, Morioki.
Okay, thanks, Doctor. Yeah, Doctor, I get your point. We can't be sure about whether they are serious or joking. So you talk like you're sure they're not serious, but we can't be sure. They might be serious or not. We don't know. Like Madonna, when she puts herself like Jesus, she has her clothes dressed how Jesus is dressed. She mocks Jesus openly. So we can't be sure whether she's serious or joking. Thanks.
Morioki, you're going to die on that hill. In my book, I go by this mantra. The time to believe something is when there's proof and not a moment sooner. So if I'm not sure, I don't go with the side that supports the claim. I stay either agnostic or I reject that claim until I can see proof. So until I see proof that an actual Illuminati society exists, there are all these initiation processes and what have you in the modern era, then I will believe them. But until that moment comes, I won't. And that is actually the mantra for skepticism. You don't go with a claim on a maybe. You don't.
So Madonna means nothing. Madonna is just joking to you.
Yeah, she's doing it for sales. You don't understand show business, Morioki. That's show business. Any publicity is good publicity. So, guys, last word. Any last word? Some people have been observing on the side. It would be nice, Nkikoho, Anthony Moremi. Good to see you. HP and Bochard. Is it Bochard or Bochard? I can see that last letter. If you have any comments, please do so before we end the meeting because we are on borrowed time. It's supposed to end officially at 10. It's 10:06. Any final comments?
I don't have any real comment. I just wanted to cough so you can see we are alive. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coughing, and we are glad you made time to join us. Yes, Anthony? Anthony, go ahead. Or was that a mistake? You raised your hand.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yes, I was really interested to listen this topic. I've really learned a lot. To me, I just gauge this thing with this type of people who usually say kuchapisha pesa. Like you pay them to multiply your money. Then my question is, why should I pay you if you can multiply money? You can just multiply for yourself. So these kind of groups of maybe Freemason and whatever, I think they belong to that kind of conmanship. Is a conman game. Because before you join them, you have to pay 1, 2, 3. So I gauge them with this type of people who usually used to steal a lot of money from people. I believe I know some few people personally who were conned during that time. Like you pay them to multiply money for you. So it's the same way I just think about this type of groups or this type of cults. Like there's nothing special or nothing big or nothing miraculous they can do. Actually, it's just a form of con game. Yeah, that's my take.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. However, I have to mention this. For the Freemason, you don't pay a registration fee, a membership, a fee to join, a joining fee you don't pay for the Freemason. When you become a Freemason, later on, you pay membership dues, and they're very transparent about it. They use it for the lodge to pay for the premises where they meet and to deal with all of the other expenses that come with running a society, just the way SAS-K also collects dues from members. That's what they do. That's the case for the Freemasons. For the Illuminati, as I said, there's no formal Illuminati society. The people that purport to be Illuminati are usually conmen or witch doctors. The ones that write posters, kulinda bomb, protecting your households from the side chick. Nguvu za kiume, having masculine energy, virility, sexual prowess. They tell you recovering lost items, and then they also add Illuminati. Those are usually con men. There's no society they'll take you. People have just been using the Illuminati name to advance their own personal interests. There's no such thing as Illuminati in the present day. So I just had to clarify that. And that's my last word before we call it a night. Why do these secret societies attract conspiracy theories? It's right there in the definition, secret society. The fact that they're so secretive makes it open to speculation and all these theories, all these explanations about what goes on in there. That I think they would lift all the stigma they face if they just eliminated the secrecy, if they exposed their rituals, because it's the rituals actually that they are very secretive about. But if they just lifted that veil, then the stigma will disappear. Lack of information is a fertile ground for conspiracy thinking. Additionally, I think pop culture and some books that were written in the 2000s, arguably even in the 1970s, contributed to these conspiracy theories. There's a gentleman called Dan Brown who wrote a trilogy, including Da Vinci Code in 2003 and Angels and Demons in 2000. And he threw in all of these conspiracies about the Illuminati as well as the Freemasons. And that is where these ideas, these fake explanations resulted from. Then even the pop artists themselves, they want to sell their brand. They thrive in controversy. So sometimes they use those symbols to get people talking. And susceptible people like Morioki who just buy anything that is peddled to them without questioning it critically. So I think that's why it is vulnerable to conspiracy theories. Overall, I think let's educate ourselves on this. You won't get money even from that Freemasons. You won't get for joining. There are people who are desperate. Kenyans are desperate. They're jobless, and they'll do anything to make money. So they think, I'll join Freemasons and get free money. There's no free money in Freemasons. Just the mutual support if you die and leave some widows, and maybe a few networks or connections here and there. So Kenyans, please don't believe the hype. Don't attribute accidents or murders to these secret societies. There's no proof linking the two. Educate yourself. Don't be part of the deluded masses. So with that, guys, thank you so much for participating. I would specifically like to thank Morioki for his input. Thank you, ex-Pastor Stano. He spoke at the beginning. Thank you, Chilwave, for your contribution. Thank you so much, Deve. Thank you, El Maestro, who joined us slightly later. Also, thank you, NJ. I think he wasn't able to stay with us until the end, and at least Anthony has coughed, and so has Ocha. They said something, at least we know they are alive. They're not part of a cabal that has been sent to see what are they going to talk about us as the Illuminati or as the Freemasons. Yeah. If you want money, work hard and look for connections. You're not gonna get it from Illuminati. Sorry. Yeah, so guys, I wish you a lovely night. Next week, we are going to talk about nihilism. Written nihilism, but we pronounce it as nihilism. That is our topic of discussion next week. So I wish you also a lovely rest of the weekend. Take care and stay safe.
Good night.